On this episode of The Trend Talk, we talk ageless beauty. And he went from real crime to landing a major role on American Crime. Now he's all over TV and film. Johnny Ortiz stops by. Plus, the young and beautiful Olga Aguilar sits down with the ladies. And Naiba and Belle get vampire facials. Don't worry, it's not as scary as it seems. All that and more, because if it's trending, we're talking. Everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Trend Talk. Belle and I are in a festive mood because we both celebrated our birthdays, right? They're only like a week apart.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And what I love about celebrating birthdays is like, it's not scary anymore, right? Now,
No.
I kind of feel like there's this whole movement of health and wellness, and like, you look good and you can look good at any age.
Right. Now, my age, which I'm not going to tell you, but you might know. But my age, back in the day, I would be knitting. I'd be like taking care of all grandkids. I would be in a rocking chair. But that's not
apply anymore, right?
No, we're like, I think one of the factors of staying young, they say, is if you think you are not old.
Right.
Because when you start saying, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that, that's when you start feeling old.
Right.
So that's one of the main factors.
Exactly. It's all about mentality.
Exactly.
What's your attitude? What's your mentality? Look at J-Lo. Look at Salma Hayek. They're almost in their 50s. Can you believe that?
Well, Salma is in her 50s.
Wow. And they look amazing.
Well, you know what they say about Latinas.
Brown don't frown.
That's right.
But you know what? In any race, it's not really about genes. Well, it is a little bit about genes. It's a lot about genes, but there's still things that you can do to improve your health and your well-being at a later age.
There's more things you can do.
Right,
and
exactly.
There's studies that are done now, and they tell you one of the major factors is stress.
Right. Definitely. And there's things that you can do to de-stress. Like Elle Macpherson, the model, she's in her 50s as well. Beautiful. I mean, she is a model, but she did give some tips about how to de-stress and how to keep looking young. And one of them was doing yoga, meditating, drinking green tea, those kinds of things. It's really hard to incorporate it, but you have to remind yourself that it's important, right?
Yes. And like I said, one of the major things is stress. So don't worry.
Be happy.
Because it doesn't help to worry. It only makes you look older, and who wants that, right? But also there's other ways, doing yoga,
right?
Exercising, eating well, the wine.
Drinking wine, but not in excess, everything in moderation. Even exercise, if you do it in excess, it does then start stressing your body because, as you know, I love working out. I'm in a gym all the time or sometimes I just go running around in the neighborhood or parks. And I remember a trainer said, there's like a sweet spot. It's good to train. You have to be dedicated. You have to be consistent. But if you overtrain, then it starts kind of weighing down your body and then it'll be kind of counterproductive. So there's a sweet spot. Where's yours sweet spot? Are you doing training at all? Are you hiking? Are you
walking?
You're walking.
Walking and that, but I should be doing more, definitely.
Right.
Definitely. But when you were talking about you can over exercise,
yes.
We in the United States of America, we do things at excess.
Everything
so they say,
is in excess.
Oh, eat kale, and then people start eating kale like
there's
crazy.
Like
and then
kale
they go,
ice cream, kale burgers, kale everything. Like I want a kale salad. Oh, we don't have kale salad. We have kale burgers. We have kale ice cream.
And everything. I mean, when they say exercise, people start running, and then they get something with their knees, something with their shins.
Exactly.
It's like everything in moderation.
Right. Like CrossFit, a lot of people are starting to get injury because it's a very, it's a very extreme type of workout. You you carry these heavy weights. Then later on, you do get knee problems. So I think, like I mentioned, everything in moderation. I think yoga is really good because it doesn't put a lot of stress on your body, even though it's super hard for me to do yoga because I need to be constantly doing something.
Because you're like this kind of person who has to be
high energy, and yoga is kind of like. But I'm trying. You
got to meditate. That's one of the other things. You have to meditate.
Do you?
I do.
How?
Actually, when I was in Maui, I went up to this beautiful hill, and they had this old temple from the 16th century.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just sat there and I meditated for like about 30 minutes.
Okay, how do you meditate? Because everyone meditates differently. So how do you meditate?
Okay, you breathe in and breathe out. And then you just keep focusing on that, and then you close your eyes, and then you focus on something, something that brings you calmness, whether it's a sunset, whether it's a picture of your family or whatever. And then you just focus on that. And when you start veering off, just come back and focus on that.
Right.
And then you just all of a sudden feel a little calm. I kind of see like things like lights, and they change colors and all that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, for meditation, that's what I do.
And right now there's so many resources to do meditation. There's podcasts, there's even YouTube. They have guided meditation sessions that you could just plug in your earphones and they'll walk you through the process. You don't have to do all the work. They'll be like,
so if you can remember all of this and do it, you will stay younger. But if you can't, there's other ways of staying young. And as a matter of fact, we have a guest on the show, so stay tuned, because she'll tell us about one other way that is proving to be very, very useful, and it works.
That's right. And it uses your own body to make you look younger. It's kind of
no foreign stuff in your face.
Exactly. It is kind of like the fountain of youth, right?
Yes.
And speaking of youth, we have a very youthful young Hollywood actor as our next guest. He is doing amazing things in Hollywood. He's been on music videos. He's been on a couple of movies like with Kevin Costner and with other big stars. His name is Johnny Ortiz, and he's our next guest, so don't go away.
Why would you want to join the army?
To fight for the country and become an American citizen.
Like your cousin Diego? And he came back with a hook instead of a head.
Oh, he's very proud now, and he's an American citizen.
Well, that was Johnny Ortiz in his latest film, Soy Nero. It's a very important film with a very important topic. First of all, welcome for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome, Johnny.
Very excited. I love this area. It's like the trend talk, just talk about the stuff that's going on.
Everything that's trendy.
And you have so many things going on that are trending, right? You were on the John Legend video, Juanes. Obviously, you have Soy Nero. We're going to talk about all of that later. But the first question, how did you get into acting? Because it's such a non-traditional career.
Well, how did I get into acting? Well, I was 5 years old, and I remember calling 411. And I called 411 and asked, how do you become an actor?
You called 411?
Yes, correct.
Wow.
And I remember the lady that answered, her name was Star, and she told me...
Star? That's already, right?
That was interesting, just to hear,
Destiny.
pick up, her name is Star.
Right.
So I told her, I want to get into acting. I was a kid, just adorable, just on the phone trying to become an actor. And then I don't know where she gave me this information. I called the next day. I was very happy, but it happened to be a false number.
Didn't you though go to Casa 011?
Well,
and that's
it was
where you started?
before I even entered Casa. You understand that I was very you know how they say kids, they turn rebels when they're 13, 14, 15,
yes.
17 rebels? Well, I started very young. I started at 5, 7, 6, 8, 9, where I was just didn't want nothing in my life. I just saw myself. I wanted to be a gangbanger. That's what I looked up to, my cousins. So I joined a gang when I was 10 years old. I got stabbed here when I was 10. And
did you say you were in jail?
Yes, I was in jail.
Wow.
I did 2 years in juvenile hall.
At the age of?
Of the age of, I believe, 13.
13. Wow.
13, I did it at 13, and I got released. It was 2 years. I got released around 15 and a half. Within that time before I entered jail, a week before I entered jail, I went to the school where it was a nonprofit. It was a school called Excel, and there's a substitute teacher that came often and asked him, how do you become an actor? He's like, well, you need an agent, a manager, a lawyer. I'm like, well, that's cool. I would like to, join it. He's like, well, if you behave good in career day, which was in 2 days, he's like, I'm going to bring an acting teacher, and I'm going to have him teach you. And I was so excited. And the thing about me is that back in the days, I didn't dress the way I dress now. I was bald-headed with a big white shirt that almost was a dress.
Cholo.
Literally. Mm-hmm. So I decided that I went to the classes and I took them, and I remember it was either it was 3 choices I had, and within that, one of them was going to be chosen for me. It was acting, the first choice. The second was lawyer, being a lawyer, and the third career was music. So fortunately, I got acting, and I was so happy. So I went into the class, and Eddie Padilla who's founder, president of Casa 0101, gave me these classes, and he passed out flyers.
This theater is in Boyle Heights. I think
Correct.
you know it.
Yes.
Casa 0101.
And it's founded by Josefina Lopez,
Yes,
who wrote
right.
We Won't Have Curves. And she's become, I made a lot of mothers within the industry.
Aw, amazing.
But
But
went
then,
there.
so then you got your first film, which was Strike One,
Strike One,
which was with Danny Trejo.
correct.
And you were what, 17?
I was 15.
15.
I had barely came recently out of
A prison.
jail.
Jail.
Juvenile.
And then you're working with Danny Trejo. You're in the first, Hollywood film. And what did you learn working there? And what's one of the best memories you have?
Well, you gotta go. That was first in my beginning of my years of working, and also in the beginning years of transitioning from gangbanging to from the streets to acting. So when I landed that role, it was exciting. It was like, wow, I'm playing opposite with Danny Trejo, and not only that, but it was interesting because the role talks about a young kid that's put into the juvenile system and how the system is kind of made to ruin the youth.
Your life.
My life, basically.
Then after that, you did big budget projects. You were in McFarlane with Kevin Costner, and then you also did ABC's American Crime, which again, lead roles. So, and now you're in this very important film, Soy Nero. Tell us about that film, because that's you. I tend to think that you are very driven by causes, and this one has a cause.
Well, Soy Nero, it's a film that I did which was co-produced by Mexico, France, and Germany. And it's a film that talks about a young kid that crosses back to the United States from Mexico, where he's lived there his whole life.
Right.
He knows English perfectly, and how the system's trying to say that he doesn't belong there. So he's trying to feel home. So the only way of feeling home and joining home and feeling that he's part of home is going to fight for his country that he believes in, and that he's lived there his whole life. And when he goes inside, he's in the middle of the desert fighting for these political views, when none of these political views or political people even care about if they die or not. So for me, it was, and I'm talking about in that certain situation, because it was around 9/11 when where the subject of the film was filmed. So it was talking about that topic about when that started happening.
Right.
So for me, people that fought for the United States that live here their whole life shouldn't be deported.
Before we sign off, tell us, what are you working on now? Because I know you're always working. Every time you finish one project, there's another.
I just finished 2 films. One's based on a book called Bel Canto. In 2002 or 2000, it won the Best Orange Prize. And how do you say best award-winning or selling book?
The
Best-selling
best-selling book.
Something
New
that
York Times
the
bestseller.
writers have when they write. So they made it into adaptation into a film. The producers are the producers from Mozart in the Jungle. I'm very excited because Julianne Moore, Ken Watanabe, Christopher Lambert, me, Johnny Ortiz, we're part of this film, and this film is very beautiful because this is the first film that I've done that actually brings internationally actors from Germany, from France.
And you keep working with these top names in Hollywood. What's the other project that you're working on?
The other one's called Icebox.
Mm-hmm.
Icebox, how can I say it? Icebox is, the producers are the ones who wrote The Simpsons, the co-creators of The Simpsons, James L. Brooks. The EPs of this film is Gael Garcia and Diego Luna.
Oh,
So-
all right.
And if you can give us one line of what it means, like what it's about.
Icebox. Icebox.
So is it about?
It I can't say that much about it, but
Got it.
what it is talks about. It's about immigration.
Give us your social media. Where can they find you so they can keep up with all the stuff you're doing?
You guys can find me on MRJOHNNYORTIZ, which is Mr. Johnny Ortiz, on anywhere on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram.
Well,
Right,
thank
right.
you so much. What an incredible journey from,
Yes.
being a gang member to jail, now to working with top superstars in Hollywood. Anything is possible. You're proving that. Obviously, you have the talent for it. Thank you so much for coming here. And obviously, we welcome you back anytime.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we have another young Latina actress who's doing so much in Hollywood and has a lot more potential as well. So don't go away. Olga Aguilar coming up next. actress Olga Aguilar was born and raised in Los Angeles, California to Salvadorian parents, but she always knew she had the acting bug. So now she's doing amazing things in Hollywood, and we have her on the Trend Talk. Nice to have you.
Welcome, Olga. You were telling us a little while ago that when you were young, you used to sing for your family. And I asked you, what songs did you used to sing?
And of course, there's Selena songs, Como la Flor, Biru Biru Bam Bam, all the classics. I used to sing like other Spanish songs, but now I don't even remember.
And did your parents do to you what they would do to me at any time there was a family? They'd be like, "A cantar, vete a cantar enfrente de todos." Over there, they would,
Especially my abuelito when he would visit from New York. He would be like, "I'll give you $5, $5."
Oh, well, that's
like,
good. Yeah. At least you got paid.
Yeah.
Right, but he would go like 2 songs for $5. Like he would bargain with me. Be like, yes,
You're like, I think I can make money out of this career, right?
I'm like, if they like it, everybody else is gonna.
Well, in our house, we used to hide in the closet to sing.
Oh, really?
Really, because we all used to make fun of each other. We're so bad. That's why I can't carry a tune to this day. But wonderful. You were already singing Selena songs. Did you see the movie?
I did, of course.
And you were inspired, of course.
Of course. I think that was the first time I ever really saw a Latina being, seen in the spotlight.
Right.
So I thought, if Jennifer can do it, I could do it,
Right. Good for you.
Yeah.
So you've been, you are a group of these young Latinas who are out there really getting a lot of work compared to when I was an actress. We would get, like, if there was 2 roles a year, we were so excited.
Right.
So, you've been doing some great work. You've been on Shameless, American Geography, it's called. Animal Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
And then most recently in Westworld, where you worked with Ed Harris.
I did, and Clifton Collins Jr.
Oh, yeah. Was he your husband?
Yes.
Yes.
So I played his wife. We definitely, it was a big experience. No,
I mean,
we don't.
Not really,
on the
but
show.
like on the show is
no, because
okay.
His character gets brought in by Ed Harris's character, and he's tied in a rope, and he's trying to find a map, this secret map.
He was so good. That I saw that episode. It was so wonderful.
And doesn't Ed Harris get kind of rough with you on the show?
He does. We waltz dance on the show, and we had to practice. So when we did practice, I was like, "Oh my gosh, of course!" And he asked me like a gentleman that he is, and we waltz dance for a little bit.
This is part of the scene?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he grabs me, he makes me dance with him.
Well, speaking of that, in Westworld, are you a robot? Like, what is going on? Are you robot, human, half and half? I mean,
so I'm technically a robot, which we're called a host. But you don't know who is and who isn't. That's the whole point of this world.
Right.
It's supposed to be that real that you're not sure.
And obviously, like Belle mentioned, you've been on Shameless, you've been on Animal Kingdom, Westworld. These are huge hit shows. As a Latina actress, are you kind of being cast as like the typical Latina, whatever, the immigrant or the maid, or what kinds of roles are they casting you in?
If you nitpick my roles, you can say yeah. I mean, Westworld is like the damsel in distress. Animal Kingdom, it is the nanny. But at the same time, actually doing those characters, I'm just doing a character. I have nothing to do with that role.
So what about, there, like I said, there's a group of young Latinas who are out there really working more so than before. Do you guys hang out? Do you have a lot of actresses, friends?
I do. You have to have that support system. There's no way you can continue on and learn from the business with the people who have been in the industry 10, 15 years. I've only literally been in this industry 3 years.
3
Really?
Years,
You've
yes.
done
congratulations.
so much in 3 years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what's the common conversation that you have with your fellow actresses? I mean, what's the theme that you guys keep talking about over and over again?
What can we do to put ourselves out there more as creators ourselves? So we make our own content. Like me and my girlfriends did Chica Ride. It's like a comedy.
I saw that. I really liked it.
We try our best, but we also have to go to auditions. We have to film and shoot, our own other projects. So it's hard to get together. But when we do, it's something that we want to show other people that we can be funny, we can be comedic, we can be our own role.
And what do you see yourself doing in 5 years?
So I just finished wrapping season 2 for Westworld. I got another episode. They asked me back, so I just did that. And also I finished my first web series. It's called Contemporary Mating Rituals, and it's about online dating and the swiping culture that new millennials are having to do as to date.
Based out of personal experience?
Not mine, because I've never online dated. But you know, we've always been on these dates that are like creepy or like awkward or like new and like gives you butterflies. So we go through a different variety of things, but we always.
Well, we need to say goodbye, but I do want to, before we say goodbye, I want to get your social media handles out there.
So Instagram, it's official_ Olga Aguilar. I'm usually only on Instagram, if not Facebook, official Olga Aguilar.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. And, you know, you're going to have to stick around to watch our next interview with a doctor that has the secret for the fountain of youth. So we all need a little help, right?
Yes. Hello.
Coming up next.
Welcome back, and I want to tell you that the latest trend in plastic surgery on your face is no surgery at all. It is a procedure called vampire facial, and here to tell us all about it is Dr. Anna Gevorgian of Montrose Regenerative Cosmetics.
Well, the vampire facials are all the rage. Even Kim Kardashian has like tweeted about it and put it on social media.
Isn't that what started the whole thing?
I don't know. I know that there's a couple of friends of mine that went to TJ to get it done like years ago, but it's kind of getting mainstream attention. Talk to us about how long it's been around and why it works so well, and what is it?
Vampire facial, or PRP, started to became popular way outside of U.S. It became popular in Asia, in China, Japan.
So we're latecomers.
Yeah, we're very latecomers. I was getting my training in New York, and that was introduced by Chinese and Japanese physicians who literally brought the kit, and they were showing how to do the PRP treatments, which is platelet-rich plasma. It comes from our own blood, as you know.
Yeah, tell us about that procedure, because it's really interesting how you take the blood and then you do what?
You take your own, you give your own blood, and then there's a centrifuging procedure that separates the red and white part of the blood, and the white part that called plasma. And it became popular, you're right, in Mexico way before it became popular here, and people will go to Tijuana and they call it plasma treatment.
And now we can go
vampire.
That was after the Kardashians thing.
And now a lot of offices are offering it, but why does it work? Because like it's your own body, and what's happening?
Rich plasma. So in that white portion of the plasma, we have a lot of platelets, which have a lot of growth factors. And also, we're on the brink of a revolution in medicine overall with the stem cell. Stem cell research started over 20 years ago. It was embryonic stem cells. And then we found adult stem cells. We have adult stem cells everywhere in our bodies. It's under our skin. The highest amount of adult stem cells is in the fat. They're everywhere. They're just sitting and waiting there to be triggered to start rejuvenating certain organ, fat portions, skin, everything.
Wow.
We just have that power of regeneration. That's another connection with the vampire, because vampires live forever. And then we found out that basically we can live forever too once we find out where that trigger is.
Wow.
But they call it vampire because some people get bloody when they do the
That's another, but there are connections on several levels.
But
vampires live forever, and they always look young.
That's true.
They found a trigger.
Right.
And the trigger in this particular case is the growth factors in the plasma on the platelets that once gets underneath your skin, it can start up trigger the stem cells to regenerate your skin. Everybody gets their own results. You're going to have certain amount of growth factors. You're going to have certain amount of growth factors. That's age, genetics, ethnicities. Everybody is different, and that's why we recommend series of treatments, because if you got minimal results, then on the second level it's like a tire. You're gonna go higher up on the tire.
We actually got it done.
Yes, it was so exciting.
Because one of the biggest questions is about the needles, right? Because you obviously put needles in your face. So did you think we're watching video right now about when we went to go get our facial. Did you find it painful?
Just a little bit here and there, but not painful where it's excruciating. It was good. And then the results were good.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot more painful because a lot of people obviously have fear of needles, and that's a big, component of the vampire facial. But you actually put some kind of like numbing cream, right, on the face
we
before.
Put the numbing cream on the face, and those little tiny needles, we have a little bit of numbing medication in the syringe. So as you get injections, you get number and number.
So you take the plasma or the white cells, and then you inject like where the wrinkles are and all. And that's, if you get a series, then that's when it starts. After when we did one, so we need to go back and do at least 2 more.
Yeah, exactly.
At least 2 more. But I love that it's organic. It's not foreign substance going into your face.
That's where I was heading at. Does it replace Botox, like as far as for wrinkles or
eventually, if you keep doing it, you keep maintaining your collagen young, so the wrinkles don't form at the rate that they're forming right now. And
but you also offer other things there, right? So
exactly.
tell us what
facial is just the step 1 of very mild rejuvenation. What we can do as next step, we can add commercial growth factors that are made from animal source with the animal cells removed from it. So with that, you get more volume. You get more volume on your lips, filling out under the eyes. The next step will be the stem cell rejuvenation, which completely rejuvenates your face, maybe 10, 15 years, but with your keeping your facial structure.
And you also offer she offers other treatments. We don't have more time to spend with you because we could talk about all of those. So you need to come back.
Is my favorite subject, the fountain of youth. So we are going to have you back.
Well,
but
humanity was searching in it for a while. I think we're on the brink of a revolution, like I said, to find the source within ourselves.
Well, thank you so much for being here. If you guys want to check out everything else that Dr. Anna Gevorgyan does or about the vampire facials, you can go to her website, MontroseRegenerativeCosmetics.com. Thanks again, Dr. Anna, for making us look so beautiful.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us on the Trend Talk. And we also want to thank our guests, Dr. Anna Gevorgyan, actors Johnny Ortiz and Olga Aguilar. Thank you for joining us today.
And I also want to give a big Trend Talk Trendsetter shout out to Lorraine Ladish from Viva 50. It's a social media platform and a website that celebrates women 50 plus. Thank you for inspiring all of us to feel beautiful at any age.
Hi, I'm Lorraine, and I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of Viva 50. I created this space so that we could all commiserate and share the good, the bad, and the ugly of being 50 plus.
And remember to follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Trend Talk Show. And remember, we talk about anything because if it's trending, we're talking.